Well, hey there. I am so excited to have you here because today we are going to be diving into the topic of websites yet again. First, I'm going to touch on why I recommend building your site yourself and why delegating this task to somebody else who maybe offers to do it for a deal or on the side for you really isn't the best idea. Second, I'm going to go over why just having a booking site or Facebook and Instagram pages, they're not the same as a well-branded website and why you can't afford to not have one. Third, I want to share my number one choice when it comes to a website building platform and then touch on the main pages that you should and shouldn't include on your website. Sound good? All right, awesome. So let's jump in. Now, when we start thinking about websites, it's very easy to think about just going out and hiring someone to help you with this. This could be a friend who says that they will give you a really smoking deal, or maybe it's just someone who, says they have a whole lot of experience in this area, and then they offer to casually put one together for you on the side. And maybe they're offering to do it for you for a really great rate. And believe me, I completely understand you wanting to jump on that offer. Website building can cost a pretty penny, and attempting the task yourself may seem impossible, especially when you have no clue how to put together a website, and definitely not a really good one at that. But what you need to understand is that I guarantee you that your friend or anyone else, for that matter, who does not do what we do, they just don't understand our industry. And our industry's websites, they need to be a little bit different than any other industry's websites that are out there. Website development is actually a service that I personally offer, and I could tell you story after story of my clients who initially they hired someone to do the job of creating their site, and then ended up wasting their money and not even knowing how to navigate their own site themselves, leaving them right back at square one, right where they started. And plus, asking someone to help you build a website on the side it's just not a great idea, because I can assure you that, anyone who's putting something together for you on the side or in their spare time, you're not being prioritized. And this is something that you really can't afford to wait. Okay. You can't afford to wait on this. You just have to do it. I promise that it just does not have to be as complicated or fancy as you may think. It actually should be very, very simple. It should be way more images and way less text. So it doesn't have to be as hard as you think. And today I'm excited to help break it down for you. But hey, I'm Madison, for those of you who are new here. And if you are interested in learning how you can build a successful and sustainable career as an independent hairstylist, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and go make sure that you click that bell notification at the bottom of the screen so that you can make sure that you're notified every single time I release a new video just like this one. Okay, so if you're asking, do I really need a website? The answer would be a big fat yes. Your website is it's like the basic underlying framework or infrastructure for your business that is laying the groundwork that will help establish you as a professional. Put yourself in your client's shoes. If you go to a business and the website is kind of scary, or maybe they just don't even have one, do you really feel great about trusting that business? Probably not, right? Well, that's exactly how new potential clients are going to feel about you too. Now, you may be thinking, well, I have a free website that comes with my online booking system, or the space that I rent from gives me a web page. Would that work? Is that enough? Well, first of all, I can assure you that a free website, your online booking system, is more like a landing page. And yes, you do want that, especially for to give to guests to book their appointments with you. But make no mistake, that is not your website. You might even be asking, well, can't I just use Instagram or Facebook? Isn't that good enough? And again, the answer would be a big fat no. All of that is part of the initial customer journey, but a website is like the next step above that. It's a completely different feature. It's a totally different experience for the guest, okay? So we can't just make our social media pages look good and then check that right off of our list. Facebook should be used for behind the scenes and community connection. Instagram is going to be your online brochure and where you can promote your brand's vibe. But your website is the foundation. This is how you're going to stand out in the crowd. Your website is that important and you've got to get it right. So when thinking about building your website, what is your number one worry or stress when you think of taking on the task? Let me know what you might be struggling with in the comments below. Okay, so I want to go over my number one choice when you start looking for a website building platform. And then I'll touch on a few of the main pages that you should and shouldn't include on your website. So the website building platform that I recommend is called Wix. I've been using it for years, and if you choose to use it, Wix is less than $200 a year. Plus it includes a free domain for that first year, and then it's $40 a year after that. And if you already have a web domain, like maybe you already have a website, but it's really not the best, then you can just transfer it right over to Wix, and it's super easy. There's no problem there. With Wix, you also get unlimited web pages, and you can even have a store online if you want, like an online store. And then they also have a lot of apps that can integrate right into your website. The other thing that I really love about Wix is it's very clean, very professional, and really easy to use. And that's why I continue to recommend it to other stylists. It's perfect for the non-techie person because it's just a bit more intuitive, and they have a lot of digital trainings as well. Plus, it's very easy to integrate with your online booking system. The other cool thing is that Wix's free trial is unlimited, so you can build on it totally for free until you want to publish your site and make it live. So if it takes you a lot longer to build your site, you don't have to invest a dime until you are actually ready to, push your website out there and launch it and make it go live, which is another huge push for me and why I continue to stand behind Wix. So now let's talk about the outline of your website. You probably have 1,000,001 ideas floating around in your head right now, and I want you to do me a really big favor and just take 5 really big steps back. Your website needs to be way more simple than you realize. So let's break it down. Let's talk about what pages you want to include and which pages you don't. The last thing you want is to make a guest work super hard to find what they're looking for on your website. So when we think about what a customer wants when they visit your website, what comes to your mind? Well, what comes to my mind is that they really want to see, some photos. They want to see a vibe. They expect to see a brand. And most of all, they really just want to connect and envision themselves sitting in your chair. And I can guarantee you that reading big, huge paragraphs isn't going to make them feel that way. We often feel like we need to give them a ton of information on our website, but honestly, they're just looking for peace of mind. That's it. They're just looking for a few questions to be answered and to feel at ease and to feel like you're an elevated professional. And believe me when I say you can easily do this with 70% photos and 30% text. So here's the basics of what I want to see. You should have 4 to 6 pages on the navigation bar and extremely strong branding. You should have a color palette that you're working with already, with about 3 to 5 colors that complement each other. And you're going to want to maybe use, 1 or 2 fonts. And you really don't want to get too crazy and fancy with the fonts. They should be very easy to read, so just stray away from the really complicated script style fonts, even though I love them, I really do. But this should just be, very simple and easy to read, okay, with extremely easy navigation. So what are the exact pages that you want to include? Number 1 would be a home page, of course. Number 2 would be an About Me page. And with this, you really do want to pay attention to that bio and especially pay attention to your profile picture. Okay, they need to be done in kind of a specific way, which I will go more in depth about in a separate video. But if you need a resource right now, I'm gonna link my one of my guides in the description box below. It's called A Guide to Your Perfectly Branded Website Copy. the 6 essentials to level up your website copy. This guide has an entire section on the About Me page, so it's a great resource to start with. Okay, and then number 3, you also want to include a Contact Me page. You know if somebody's coming to your website, you know, most likely they're gonna wanna get a hold of you. And then number 4 would be like your services page. So with the pricing, okay, do not skip out including your pricing. It's very important. And then a couple of other options could be like a specialty services feature page. So maybe you do extensions and, you know, you want to showcase that, or, you know, maybe you're somebody who works with a lot of vivid color corrections, you know, whatever it is, if you want to feature it there. The other thing to include would be like your follow me links. So, you know, don't forget putting on your social media links like Facebook, Instagram, Google My Business, and LinkedIn. And then the other thing that you could include is like a special offers page. So if you're offering anything seasonally, or if you have like a new guest offer or a referral offer, something like that. So what are some of the pages and formats to skip?
Hey, let's go. Freedom.
Number 1, I would say a gallery.
Freedom.
You really don't need a gallery page on your website anymore, because a lot of our clients are just going to take a look at your work on Facebook and Instagram. If you have like a specialty and you want to show it off, you know, perfect. Put your before and after photos on your specialty page. Don't have a page called gallery, okay? Nobody's looking there, so you can just showcase your photos on your specialty page if you want to, but otherwise your gallery is your social media. Okay, the other thing, number 2, would be a blog. Which actually, I don't hate a blog, but I would just say that, like, you know, consumers nowadays, they are going to your social media and, you know, they're looking at your captions almost like little mini blogs, right? So instead of being like, come over here to my website, read my weekly blog, your captions should be telling stories, okay? You should be saying something that draws them in. You know, you should be talking about hair care, you should be talking about hair color. You know, it should just be, you know, either educating, entertaining, or inspiring them. So your social media has become your blog, okay? So you do not need a blog on your website. Take that pressure off of your plate and skip the blog. The number 1 thing that you need to remember is just, you know, no mixed messaging. It's really easy to have everything get really cluttered on your website. So just make sure it stays very, very cohesive. So, you know, less is more here. All right, and then my last tip is to actually start plotting out what your site is going to look like on paper before you start building it, okay? Because as soon as you get into that Wix editor, it's really easy to get overwhelmed. So instead, let's just go old school here and write it out on paper first. Write out what you might want those web pages to look like, so that you have a sense of direction when you log into the web builder. All right, so I hope this gave you a ton of really good tips on how you can, you know, start to build your own website. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have fun building your new website, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.